President Trump signals a possible strategy switch on tariffs while taking questions during a visit with Israel's prime minister. The Supreme Court delivers a major ruling in favor of the Trump administration, and a bill in Colorado would make it child abuse for parents not to affirm their child's gender transition. I'm Tony Kinnett from the Daily Signal's Tony Kinnett Cast, syndicated nationally at 7 p.m. Eastern. It is Tuesday, April 8th, 2025. This is the Daily Signal's top news in 10. Different officials in the Trump administration appear to be signaling vastly different strategies regarding President Trump's tariff agenda, and the president might be changing certain parts of his plan as well. Doge head Elon Musk has called for free trade zones and for President Trump to take the deals offered by some of the other world leaders to lower tariffs when possible. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent appears to be in a similar mood, suggesting that over 70 leaders have now approached the president.
Larry, I can tell you that there are 50, 60, maybe almost 70 countries now who have approached us. So it's going to be a busy April, May, maybe into June. And Japan is a very important military ally. They're a very important economic ally. And the U.S. has a lot of history with them. So I would expect that Japan's going to get priority, just because they came forward very quickly, but it's going to be very busy. And if President Trump, again, gave himself maximum negotiating leverage, and just when he achieved the maximum leverage, he's willing to start talking.
Here's where we see the president's strategy might be changing towards a possible disarmament of tariffs in the near future. Secretary Bessent stated on an X post yesterday, following a very constructive phone discussion with the government of Japan, President Trump has tasked me and the U.S. trade rep to open negotiations to implement the president's vision for the new golden age of global trade with the Prime Minister of Japan and his cabinet. This was a quote tweet or a quote post about a post 5 hours earlier from President Trump, which said, "Countries from all over the world are talking to us. Tough but fair parameters are being set." Spoke to the Japanese Prime Minister this morning. He is sending a top team to negotiate. They have treated the U.S. very poorly on trade. They don't take our cars, but we take millions of theirs. Likewise, agriculture and many other things. It all has to change, but especially with China. Trump's senior counselor for trade and manufacturing, Peter Navarro, had a bit of a different tariff plan in place, suggesting something a little bit more permanent.
Was the president willing to negotiate? What we have here is a national emergency based on massive chronic trade deficits caused by systematically higher tariffs and non-tariff barriers. So when you ask if we're willing to negotiate, the president will always listen. But let's understand what the problem is. When you have a country like Vietnam, let's take Vietnam. When they come to us and say, we'll go to zero tariffs, that means nothing to us because it's the non-tariff cheating that...
There's a bit of a spat between Navarro and Elon Musk. Elon Musk criticized a video of Navarro praising tariffs as a permanent economic revenue builder over on X, stating, quote, "A PhD in economics from Harvard," which Navarro has, "is a bad thing, not a good thing." Musk also said he ain't built bleep. Navarro responded to Musk later on Fox News, suggesting he was a bit of a car salesman.
No, I mean, Elon, when he's in his Doge lane, is great. But we understand what's going on here. We just have to understand. Elon sells cars, and he's in Texas assembling cars that have big parts of that car from Mexico, China. The batteries come from Japan or China. The electronics come from Taiwan. And he's simply protecting his own interests, as any business person would do. We're more concerned about Detroit building Cadillacs with American engines.
The president did not reveal much more, but said he was against a pause of the tariffs at the moment during talks with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at the White House yesterday. Check it out.
Would you be open to a pause in tariffs to allow for negotiation?
Well, we're not looking at that. We have many countries that are coming to negotiate deals with us, and they're going to be fair deals, and in certain cases they're going to be paying substantial tariffs. There'll be fair deals. As you know, I spoke this morning with the Prime Minister of Japan, and we had a very good conversation. They're coming. And I said, one thing, you're going to have to open up your country, because we sold no cars, like 0 cars in Japan, and they sold millions of cars into our country. They don't really take our agriculture, a little bit of it just to keep us slightly happy, but they don't take what they're supposed to be taking. So we have a great relationship with Japan. We're going to keep it that way, but they're coming in to meet, and other countries are coming in. With China, as you know, against my statement, they put a 34% tariff on above what their ridiculous tariffs were already. And I said, if that tariff isn't removed by tomorrow at 12 o'clock, we're putting a 50% tariff on above the tariffs that we put on. So they've gone for years. They've become a rich country because of people, again, that were in the White House that allowed this to happen. Hundreds of billions of dollars a year they'd make on us on trade, and it shouldn't be that way. And I have a great relationship with President Xi. I hope it's going to stay that way. I have great respect for China, but they can't do this. We're going to have one shot at this, and no other president's going to do this, what I'm doing. And I'll tell you what, it's an honor to do it, because we have been just destroyed, what they've done to our system. You know, we have $36 trillion of debt for a reason. And the reason is that people allowed it to get that way. So we'll be talking to China. We'll be talking to a lot of different countries. And I think, you know, if we can make a really fair deal and a good deal for the United States, not a good deal for others. This is America first. It's now America first. And we didn't put America first. We put America last. The people that were in the Oval Office put America last, and we're not going to stand for it.
In a major ruling yesterday evening from the Supreme Court of the United States, D.C. District Court Chief Judge James Boasberg's injunction stopping the Trump administration from removing individuals accused of being gang members, such as the terror-designated Tren de Aragua or MS-13 gangs and cartels, from the country. Boasberg's injunction freezing that action has been struck down by Chief Justice Roberts in a 5-4 ruling. The majority ruled that the President of the United States has the authority to remove illegal aliens who are deemed enemies by the State Department as being listed under the domestic terror organization category under this law, which is still on the books in the United States, and that a district court judge does not have the authority to stop that. Those dissenting consist of Justices Sotomayor, Kagan, Jackson, and Amy Coney Barrett. The dissent reads, 3 weeks ago, the federal government started sending scores of Venezuelan immigrants detained in the United States to a foreign prison in El Salvador. It did so without any due process of law under the auspices of the Alien Enemies Act, a 1798 law designed for times of war. While the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals denied the Trump administration's effort to resist an order to return suspected MS-13 gang member Kilmar Garcia to the United States by midnight last night, stating that Judge Zinnis' order would still be in effect, Chief Justice John Roberts of the Supreme Court of the United States blocked the judge's order for the forced return of the alleged MS-13 member. And lastly, the Colorado House of Representatives has passed a bill that would remove children from parents' custody for behaviors such as misgendering and dead naming, which would be considered not affirming the gender transition of a child. According to the Daily Signal's Tyler O'Neill, Democrats in the Colorado House cited the Southern Poverty Law Center to justify excluding parental rights groups from discussion on the bill. House Democrats invoked Rule 16, which calls the question and ends debate completely over any bill, leading to the vote. Republican Representative Jarvis Caldwell told the Daily Signal, quote, after preventing us from the ability to debate, Colorado House Democrats rammed through House Bill 1312. It's codifying into law that if their ideology confuses your child and you don't affirm that delusion, you are committing child abuse and can lose custody of your child. We have now crossed the Rubicon of parental rights with this bill, end quote. House Bill 1312 passed with 36 votes in favor, 20 against, and 9 absent in a largely party line vote. There is no peer-reviewed medical data which suggests that a child affirmed that they are a different gender than the sex they were born is mentally or physically healthier after the affirmation. A previous bill which did much of the same regarding language in child abuse and transgender affirmation in the California Assembly was vetoed by Gavin Newsom after yours truly broke the story in the Daily Signal last year. Before you go, check the description to make sure you're subscribed to the Tony Kinnett Cast, and join us tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern for a closer look at the ideological diversity in Trump's cabinet with the Washington Examiner's David Harsanyi. I'm Tony Kinnett, and this has been the Daily Signal's Top News in 10. Take care.